outside of the field and the red light goes on. All set, last of the day. And they're racing as well. See Me Sizzle, the first to break from Mrs. Brown's Boy, Kensington Abbey, Ripperio. Gonna go driving forward. Military Ruler's going to go with it early and coming over Fontainebleau. Friaresque as the rain starts to tumble again. Right on cue for the last. In behind those, Maserati, Schooner going back. Tell them we're coming in the back half of the field with Necklet, followed by Luke's Gold. Out the back last is Cougar Knight. See Me Sizzle led them when they'd settled down and passing the 1200 in the run down the back. See Me Sizzle led by a length over Military Ruler, who'd camped up there on the outside in second spot. 3/4 to Mrs. Brown's Boy. A length away then came Gonna Go driving forward in driving rain. Down on the inside, Ripperio, followed then around them by Fontainebleau, forced to cover extra ground. A length and a half to Kensington Abbey, who's down on the inside of Friaresque. Then came the easing favourite over on the rails. Tell them we're coming. Back in behind those and jammed away from Schooner Maserati. Then came Necklet. Second last is Luke's Gold, heading past the 600 with Cougar Knights bringing up the rear of the field. In gloomy conditions, they head to the corner. At the 450, See Me Sizzle brings them for home from Military Ruler. Over on the outside, Fontainebleau still there. A run coming almost on the fence for Mrs. Brown's Boy, although got chopped out, then had to steady off the heels of See Me Sizzle. And they're followed by Friaresque and Gonna Go. Back on the inside, Tell Him We're Coming, trying to weave his way up on the rail. Military Ruler had hit the front though. Battling back, See Me Sizzle. Mrs. Brown's Boy, look at Tell Him We're Coming. He's threading the eye of the needle. Another piece of pike perfection in the last. Tell Him We're Coming has beaten See Me Sizzle, Mrs. Brown's Boy. Friaresque, Military Ruler close up. Big run, Necklet down the outside. So's Cougar Knights. Luke's Gold behind them. Fontainebleau battled away after covering ground. Maserati's back there, followed by Schooner, and then Ripperio, Kensington Abbey, and Gonna Go pulling up quickly back there with those amongst the last of them in. Just superb ride there by Pike to give him a double for the day. Back there, down on the inside, the favourite did nothing but drift in the betting. But Pike, the man for punters in the last of the day. When things might be going pear-shaped, he invariably gets punters out of a hole, and he's done it there with an absolute gem on Tell 'Em We're Coming. For Team Williams, beats home See Me Sizzle, the stablemate Randy Tan, which has run a mighty race. Mrs. Brown's Boy, Friaresque, Military Ruler, all there queuing up for the minor spoils. But the favourite wins it. The Blackfriars 3-year-old out of Bonnie for Elio and Jackie, Troy, Chanel Galanti, Frank Arto and Alana Williams, trained by Grant and Alana Williams. A winning double for the Wizard. And it was just a magnificent ride there to follow them through on the rails, cut the corner, bustle out there, had a bumping duel with Mrs. Brown's Boy. He won that battle and he won the last of the day as well. Let's head over to the back and we'll try and catch up with Britt Taylor. Where's Britt going here in the last of the day? We'll go down there now to you, Britt. I'm not quite sure where you've got to. Here we are coming back. Where's Pikey? I can't even find him. It's got so gloomy and dark down here on track at the moment. There's Britt. What about that? It was an absolute gem in the last.
Yeah, thanks for that, Macca. Grant Williams joins us. I forgot to ask about See Me Sizzle, but I thought it was I know I was having a chat to you before about this would be a strong each way chance at a big prize, but once again, Pike was just... Well, he was just Willie Pike, wasn't he, in the last race?
Yeah, you know, you often see him when it's wet, stay inside because a lot of the other jocks, they drift to the outside. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, he's doing that again. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it is Willie, so you leave it up to him. And I don't know how he gets through sometimes, but it doesn't really matter. I can't say I'm glad I did because we went 1-2.
But he still needs the horse, and that horse did a wonderful job to pick up and make up ground today under the conditions. And sometimes we forget he's a 3-year-old taking on some quality older horses here today.
Yeah, it's a good effort, you know, like being a young horse, carrying a bit more weight than he did last time, and to pick up in wet ground like that, he's obviously going to have a good future.
And See Me Sizzle was brave. He's knocking on the door. He got to the mile once again today, and the best part about him, he jumped today, and Randy was able to take up the running.
We had a bit of a chat. I sort of spoke with Elio, then I spoke with Alana. We were trying to work out who we could put on. And obviously, Shelby was up north today, and we come to Randy because he gets him out really good, and he done a really good job for us. And all my mates over here, I thought they'd nearly nearly knocked the good one off. But yeah, it was a good result.
Yeah, always good to get a Quinella anyway in town.
Yeah, sometimes second's not too good, but a Quinella's all right, yeah.
Hey, the training premiership is not over yet, Puffer.
You keep telling me that, Gareth, but unless you're going to drop a few more horses down, I think we're in a bit of pain.
All right, then I'll see what I can do. Well done.
All right, thanks.
There's Grant Williams. Well done to Alana as well. And we'll just wait on Willie Pike. We'll see what was going through his head, because he looked in a little bit of trouble, but as we pointed out, and Grant pointed out, Mark Warwood, he just did what Willie does, and that was get home in the last, and it was a brilliant ride.
Oh, look, if it's not trending on Twitter, it should be. Pike in the last at Belmont. And, you know, you see him on the rail, and it's interesting to hear what Grant had to say about the ride and the fact that he stuck to the rail, and so many jockeys decide to go wide when it rains here, and he decided to stay on the inside, and it's probably what won him the race.
Good performances outside, of course. Tell 'em we're coming. See Me Sizzle was mighty in defeat to finish second. I thought that Alan Kennedy was pretty good on Mrs. Brown's Boy as well, and it had Hitch chance, but it wasn't far away. And Fire-esque, and also Military Rule, he looked the winner at the top of the stretch, but just faded to finish fifth, I think, in the end.
Yeah, and maybe that's an omen for tonight. We've got Royal Ascot coming up, and of course those colours, those famous colours, won at Royal Ascot not that long ago.
Yep, and Willie Pike's just having a chat to the connections, and hopefully we can catch up with Willie shortly, and he can jump on those scales, and we can see what he was thinking, basically, at the 400-metre mark, because he is brave, like Grant pointed out. Usually the other jocks want to go out wide, but he's snuck his way through the inside and weaved a little bit of magic.
Yeah, look, I think he was thinking, get out of my way, and fortunately enough of them did, and he had the best horse underneath him.
We'll catch up with Willie Pike. He'll jump on the scales, and we can have a chat about this horse. Tell him we're coming. He brings up a double today. Willie, what was going through your mind at the 400?
Uh-oh.
Usually, as Grant pointed out, you don't mind going back to the inside when it's a little bit wet, and obviously you just needed a bit of magic there by yourself, like you can produce in that last race, but you also need a pretty good horse.
Yeah, definitely. He's obviously a horse on the up. He's, you know, he's a nice horse going through his grades at the moment. But, you know, to tell you the truth, there was nothing too magical on my behalf. My hands were dealt for me. I was away slow. I didn't think I was travelling well enough to bullock out and then still be able to kick over him. To me, it was just about just staying and waiting for my moment.
When did you feel confident that this is your race?
No, not at all. I suppose once I went over the line, I knew I'd won, and I was pretty happy about it. But right up until, I suppose, 50 out, I knew I was in a world of pain.
He's obviously a really good horse, a 3-year-old taking on the older horses once again today, but you have to be pretty good to do what he's done this preparation.
Yeah, that's right. I've always liked him, and yeah, I'm not really surprised that he's doing what he's doing, but the test always comes, you know, things get harder, the weight piles up and the grade gets harder, so, you know, as always, you need to go to the paddock and find another length all the time.
Was he comfortable in the going?
Okay, reasonable. I wouldn't say that he was bolting through it, but he got through it well enough.
And when he on the plane now to Singapore, Willie?
Yeah, off to Singapore tomorrow, try my hand over there, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll be cheering, don't worry about that. Well done.
Thank you.
There's William Pike there with another double at headquarters at Belmont today. And he kicks home, Tell 'em we're coming, to take out the last. It was a Quinella for Grant and Alana Williams with See Me Sizzle back in second. Mrs. Brown Boy was officially third. Okay, that wraps up our meeting here at Belmont Park today. It's been a pretty handy meeting. I think Darren McAuliffe had a double, Willie Pike had a double, Mitchell Pateman had a double as well. So what was your highlight, Mark?
I think we've seen Gutting finally get that
Yep.
win. He's been going around in really good races, running really good races, and it meant a lot to the owners, the trainers, and certainly to Mitchell Pateman as well.
Thanks for your help today. Go and get warm.
Oh, will do. Brittany's done it more tough than we have.
Yeah, and thank you to Brittany Taylor for helping us out as well. She was aboard Jarmies and she did a great job interviewing all of those jockeys and giving her thoughts before each and every race here at Belmont Park today. Hopefully you backed a couple of winners. We'll catch you again from the West on Wednesday afternoon from Belmont, and Scotty Embry will be at Kalgoorlie for the latter part of their meeting on Sky Thoroughbred Central. Have a wonderful night and thanks for your company.